He got rhythm, and he also got heritage. Vernon had Scottish and Irish roots, and Gladys had Cherokee.
I really don't think Vernon, Gladys, and Elvis saw color the way a lot of people did. I really don't.
No.
I think they just saw people in basically the same circumstances, and very often the black families were in better circumstances than they were.
Elvis's classmates were white. Down south, the races were kept apart by law. But when he was 11, Elvis broke the color bar and the rules. So, Sam, this was the entrance for the colored folk, is that right?
That's right. And once you get past her, nobody else sees you anymore.
Yeah.
And we slip right on in. You don't have to duck anymore because nobody can see you. Yeah. So we go right in here.
Yeah. Sam Bell and Elvis loved to come here to watch films. The law tried to keep them apart, but even then, Elvis was a rebel.
This was the black side here. Yeah. It was a petition, and it was about waist high. You could climb over it.
So you'd be here, and EP would be over there?
He would come in over there. He wouldn't sit over there. He'd go in downstairs, and he'd come on in there and come on across, and he'd cross over the banister right here. We thought we were really getting away with something.
Sam and Elvis had met in 1947, when the impoverished Presleys moved from East Tupelo to a mainly black district where they were poorest of all. Do you remember meeting him for the first time?
We was about 11 and 12, something like that. We was down playing, and we decided, let's go ask him to come play with us. And he said, well, I got to ask my mama. And she said no. And he stood there, and he was kind of downtrodden a little bit. Yeah. And she watched us a while. And then she said yes. He spread that fence like a rabbit. In the storm.
Sam and Elvis were next-door neighbors up here on what was called The Hill. The wooden homes of the two families are long gone, but they were somewhere on this junction. Most white folks stayed away, but for little Elvis, this cool and leafy suburb was a paradise. Gladys's boy fitted in because he was poor and powerless and polite.
He wasn't treated as a white boy in the neighborhood. He was treated as one of the kids in the neighborhood. He was very polite to my grandparents, you know. We'd better say yes, ma'am, yes, sir. But him being white, he didn't have to, but he did it anyway. Grandma, oh, she loved him. And my papa, he did too, because no white kid or anybody ever said yes, sir, that was white.
Elvis's charm was his passport. It got him access to music not heard down in East Tupelo. Did he like gospel music as well?
Yeah, there was a church, and every year they have a revival. He'd go in and go up on the stage there, and whatever, jumping around, jumping. He'd be beating the tambourine, you know, and all of that. He stayed there so long, one of the guys said, go get that food. He would love it.
I like to think of little Elvis enraptured by gospel, which is surely deep in the DNA of rock and roll. And there was another kind of music available locally.
Once a day we'd go to the store, and the guy just sit up there and play guitar. He would get up there with him. They wouldn't push him away. They'd take him as long as he'd sit there. He liked that blues.
Down dirty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that blue-down blues, you know.
My baby's long and tall, shaped like a cannonball.
The music was in him, and it had to come out. What Elvis heard on the hill would go into hits like this, electrifying children like me who'd never heard the blues before.
She said, I'm so
In 1947, the Presleys moved up the Mississippi to Memphis, Tennessee. Vernon and Gladys were looking for work, but Elvis found inspiration in this, the capital city of the blues.
Yes, the moon is rising.
He soon found the tracks and made a beeline for the wrong side of them. Beale Street was the beating heart of the musical city, where white citizens went after dark looking for fun or trouble or both. It was only a couple of 100 yards of hot tarmac, but it was shaking with fabulous music. Elvis couldn't stay away, which makes me love him all the more. At 13, he was spotty and penniless. How would this city make him a star in just 7 years?
Well, since my baby left me.
In January 1956, Heartbreak Hotel was Elvis's first million-selling single. His astonishing rise began just 3 years earlier in a dingy backstreet in Memphis.